What is up, gamers and gamettes? It's your boy, Squid. We're back, and recently I made a declaration that from now on, whenever I get a video request, I'm just gonna fucking do it, because why not? You know, I've gotten quite a few video requests over the hundreds of years I've been making videos, and I've never really done them. Some of them I've taken inspiration from and sort of tweaked it and done a different video, but I decided, made the official declaration that if I get a video request, I'm going to make it no matter what. I'm going to do it within one day, too, because why the fuck not? And not even an hour later, as you can see by this screenshot here, we get a request for a ReZero slander video. Now, it's funny because the slander video part of the request was not even necessary because this is my least favorite anime of all time. That's not even a meme, that's genuine. I know people are probably like, well, why haven't you ever made a video about it if you hate it so much? And the honest answer is, I dislike this anime so much, I didn't want to make a video on it because I didn't have to rewatch even 1 second of the series. So, it's pretty typical isekai shonen-y type fare, and it's not original, not super original, that is. And I've talked before, I don't really think that that's super important, right? That's not where this loses points with me. However, it does really annoy me that I constantly hear people talking about, well, maybe not now, but back when this was in its heyday, this was a huge anime in season 1. And for the record, season 1 is all I've watched. Fuck no, I'm not watching season 2. But I've seen a ton of people say that the main character has a fully original power like it's never been done before, and that just makes me scratch my head, be confused, because at the end of the day, this is just a play on a concept as old as fiction itself, immortality. I mean, for thousands of years in stories, there's been immortal characters that don't die, and it's not exactly immortal, right? He isn't incapable of dying. It's dying and coming back to life, which is a slight spin on it, I will give it to you. But even that isn't super uncommon, especially in manhwa. In manhwa, at least in my experience, it's a lot more common than in manga. You see characters who die and come back, right? Like the two that I read recently that I can think of off the top of my head would be Suicide Hunter and Revival Man. They both have this concept of dying and coming back to life with their own little spin on it. Revival Man, I believe he dies and he comes back after 3 days, so it's not instant, and he also doesn't go back in time. And then Suicide Hunter is he dies, goes back in time, but he gets to steal an ability from someone who killed him. So there's that. That's one thing that's always bugged me is people act like, dude, this anime literally invented the concept of a character not being able to die. Fucking crazy if you think about it. That's always annoyed me. And so, the fans of this anime piss me off. But let's talk about the anime itself. So, to give you an analogy, right? Because your boy loves analogies. If we think of anime as like a physical thing, like a square, a box that needs to be held up, it would be an object, right? Like a box labeled anime, and it would be supported by pillars, a few really big ones and then some smaller ones. Now, the big pillars that support anime, that hold it up and make it what it is, would be story, characters, art, and sound. That being said, though, the amount of weight each of these pillars support, right? The importance they hold is different person to person. Some people might have story supporting 90% of the anime, and other pillars, they're only doing a little bit of work, right? It's different people to people. That's just how it is. As much as I think that opinions can be objective, what you like is specific to you. So for me, it's characters. Characters have always been the most important thing, even above story, above art, above sound, above everything. So for me, if I can't find a couple characters that I resonate with, at least a couple characters to resonate with, even a little bit, I will not like the series. If we were to break down like my anime support structure, it would be like 60%, the biggest pillar by a margin would be characters, and then story, art, and sound would all be smaller but equally as important to each other. And in the case of ReZero, I am actively repulsed by every single character in this series. I find the main character and the main love interests downright repugnant. I fucking hate every single character from season 1, and I actively want to erase them from history. I think Subaru, in my opinion, is probably up there with worst characters in all time of any fictional work. It's funny, he's such a simple character that I can describe him using only 3 words, which would be crybaby, simp, retard. And obviously, everyone knows that, like, I hate women and I refuse to watch any series with female characters, and, like, I throw rocks at any woman I see on the street. We all know that. But I think that the female characters, Amelia, Rem, and, is it Ram? What is her dumb sister's name? I don't know. The 2 gross, like, non-human characters. All 3 of those women are so disgusting, and I'm not even talking about aesthetics. I don't really hate their aesthetics. I don't like them. They're super boring. Amelia's just dressed in white, and the other 2 are just dressed like maids. I mean, whatever. It's like as average could be. But I really dislike them, and on top of that, they've spawned so many shitty cosplays. Cosplay in general is something I don't like because it's almost always terrible, but the amount of awful cosplays I've seen from ReZero make me hate the series even more. But let's cut back to my point from earlier about simp, crybaby, retard, or whatever I said. Subaru is the antithesis of, like, a character I would enjoy. I tend to like very not masculine. I would say manly. You know, people who are tough. They do the right thing, or do the thing that they think is right. Maybe objectively, sometimes it's not, but they're willing to do what needs to be done and not be a huge bitch about it. And I cannot stand the fact that throughout season 1, Subaru still freaks out about dying, or that he still cares about dying at all. Sure, I mean, I get that he's not trained, right? Like, obviously, if you go through training, you don't care about dying anymore. That, especially, depending on what type of training you go through, what type of soldier you become, you really just don't give a fuck about death at all. So he's untrained, I get it. So maybe the first, like, 4 times are scary, but if you're still freaking out about dying after time number 4, you're just a lost cause. You're a fucking idiot. I don't understand why you would care at all anymore. It's funny, Suicide Hunter is a series I don't even like. It's one that I brought up earlier, and it's, very similar. The series, the character, he dies from other people. He has to kill himself a few times, and they do it the right way. After he dies a few times, he realizes, like, whatever, like, I don't care anymore. Death is whatever. I don't have a reason to fear it, so I don't fear it. And I think that's my biggest problem with Subaru, is that he just is not a main character I root for. And on top of that, there's no side characters I like. That's pretty much all I can talk about for this video. Admittedly, my promise of delivering the video in a day means that this kind of video isn't as well I mean, I wouldn't like it, but if I was making this video, like, for real, I would probably take a week, rewatch the series, and write down every little thing that I hate about it. But the be-all, end-all, the biggest thing is how much I hate every character. I can't stand the characters, and then nothing else about the series stands out enough to even kind of offset that. The art is whatever, it's fine. The story is whatever, it's fine. Isekai, normal shit, we've seen it a million times. And the sound is not really, I mean, it's bad at times. It's not even average. It's, like, slightly below average. I don't like the main character. I don't like Subaru's voice actor. I don't like Amelia's voice actor. I don't like, what's that little fucking creature called? Puck? It's not called Puck, is it? I don't know. Amelia's weird rabbit father creature thing. I don't like the way that thing sounds. This series, it disgusts me to even think about it. Honestly, fuck you for making this the first request video, but I did it. There you go. I hate this fucking series. Maybe I'll make another video in the future explaining it in more detail, because this one was kind of just random, like, just what I could think of off the top of my head. Maybe we'll make a part 2 where I explain literally every single thing from every single episode that I hate.